Hey everyone, it's Star, and I'm back with some more Avengers Assemble bashing. Okay, it's not bashing per se, it's more of an analysis on what happened to this show that had so much potential. Spoiler warning for Assemble if you really care about it, but there's not a lot to spoil. But there will be an Avengers Endgame spoiler at this time. There will be a text warning that the spoiler is coming, and the time where you can skip to. I'll be going through several seasons trying to break down the gradual decline in quality or see if there was a specific moment that decided the show's fate. It was Arsenal! It was Arsenal. Who is Arsenal, you might ask? Well, let me tell you who this contingency plan is. He's a robot made by Tony's dad to be his friend. Oh, but that's not the worst part. In the episode Arsenal is introduced, Tony has a monologue about how his childhood was kinda lonely, but at least he has friends who care about him now. He was sad that he never got to play catch with his dad, but he doesn't care he didn't have anyone back then because he has a family with the Avengers now. That's a cute, soft sentiment that's a good lesson for younger audiences. That the past doesn't define your future. Fast forward to the actual plot of the episode, Tony found this old folder of a project his dad was working on. Project Arsenal. He was gonna look for the missing project, but was interrupted by the Red Skull crashing in a pod. And he has an Infinity Stone. Well, that escalated. But once everything is settled, they need a way to contain the stone. Tony suggests finding Arsenal, so they do, and go to where they think Arsenal is, but there's a gamma reactor about to explode. This episode is just crazy. The whole show it just keeps escalating, and there's more I can tell you about it. Let me get through Arsenal. Ugh. That's when Tony realizes that Project Arsenal has been keeping the reactor from exploding all these years. Hulk yeets into the reactor with a stone and the explosion is averted. Arsenal is revealed to be a fully 3D rendered robot. Sure, there's 3D in the show sometimes, but he's 3D all the time. And he doesn't look good, he doesn't move well. He's gross. After a battle with a random big spaceship that showed up halfway through the episode, they separate the stone from the robot, and the robot recognizes Tony. Then it's revealed that this robot was made by Howard to look after Tony, but was sent to contain the gamma explosion. Tony comes to a realization his dad wasn't so bad after all, and goes off into the sunset to play catch with Arsenal, leaving behind all of his friends. That's like if Steve decided to abandon all of his friends for a girl he knew for like a week. Oh wait! Arsenal makes an appearance after his introduction, and he's immediately killed off, which is a blessing in disguise, and everything seems normal. Infinity Stones keep on popping up, but so long as Arsenal's not there, the show is good again. And by good, I mean it's tolerable again, and it's fun to watch it. That is until the big bad purple grape man makes his Assemble appearance. Thanos showed up randomly out of nowhere at the end of an episode. Like, the episode started normal, the stones were causing anyone who was around them to act crazy. Then in the end, Thanos just pops up and steals the stones. No build-up or anything. The team goes to fight the angry great man. And Tony has the brilliant idea to challenge Thanos to defeat them only using one stone, which Thanos actually agrees to. So each Avenger takes on a different challenge presented by Thanos using each of the stones, while Tony sneaks off to do something to turn the tide of the fight. The fight is actually pretty awesome. If anything, this just shows what Assemble could have been. It's revealed that Tony is actually working on Arsenal. Why? And once Arsenal is completed, he's able to get the gauntlet off the Mad Titan. The Avengers celebrate, but when Tony asks Arsenal to give him the gauntlet, he won't give it up. Arsenal says how they need a contingency plan, and Tony goes, "But Arsenal, you were the contingency plan." And then Arsenal transforms into Ultron and flies away. This came out of such left field. Age of Ultron just came out around this time, and so they had to bring Ultron in somehow. My friends and I were so shocked by how ridiculous this was. One of them stood on the table, pointed and yelled at the screen while another walked out of the room. Then you would think the Avengers would be like, oh crap, we gotta go get the gauntlet, that's really dangerous, but nope, they're just like, let's have a barbecue. Okay, let's jump a season. Right to the end of season 3. So here's a big Avengers Assemble spoiler. So the stereotypical boss man shows up and is now commanding the Avengers. A bunch of kind of bad episodes later, the Avengers decide to rise up against the big boss man, and he turns into Ultron! What? Okay, I can't talk about Ultron anymore without sounding like a rambling lunatic. Let's just move on to character design, because they change constantly. So it's not abnormal for a show to change a character's design throughout the series for any number of reasons. Sometimes the show needs to simplify a design to save money, or to change a character's outfit to symbolize they're in a different stage of their life. In Assemble, however, it's to keep matching the MCU. That isn't so bad, it's a good reason. The comics keep doing it, so again, it's not an unheard of concept. So in Season 3, they overhauled Cap's design. It made it way more complicated than it needed to be. He was already one of the most complicated designs, and then they made it more complex. Falcon is younger in this, so he couldn't match up to the MCU version. They got a good 10 to 15 year age difference. There's no way they can fix it. But in Season 4, he got aged up out of nowhere so he can look like the MCU Falcon. Then in Season 5, they redesigned everything to be simplified. Don't get me wrong, these designs would have been nice on their own, but coming from a complex style that was the first 4 seasons, it was jarring to say the least. I'll talk more about the style when I get to Season 5. Season 4! Oh, Season 4. This season was called Secret Wars. This had a lot leading up to it, mainly because Tony sacrificed himself at the end of Season 3. So the first episode starts and it's revealed Tony is alive. He's just lost in another dimension. You know, as you do. They just need to lock onto his location and find him. Simple enough. He should be back in a couple episodes. Later in the episodes, the other Avengers are ambushed and sent to different dimensions as well. So the new Avengers have to save them. Well, that's interesting. That sounds like a fun season. This has good stakes. It seems promising. I'm excited to see where this goes. Well, where it does go is straight into a ping pong table, because that's what the new Avengers feel like doing rather than searching for their friends. 17 episodes of agonizingly bad episodes later, we finally get the OG team back. And so started the Battle World arc. My friend and I were finding it really difficult to continue this show at this point. All the life from the other 3 seasons was taken away, but there were still hints about it. Like Cap picking up and spinning Tony around when they reunited. Voice actors were replaced, and the animation quality decreased significantly. All the fights have no pacing, and it feels like the characters are just floating across the screen. None of their actions have any weight to them anymore. We were really getting close to just dropping the show. We only watched a couple more episodes because some of the synopsises sounded interesting. How can they screw up Hulk and Banner being separated, or Hawkeye going blind? Easily, apparently! They both try to do these big themes like Bruce is really the monster and Clint isn't a hero just because of his eyes. But the supporting cast for each episode didn't feel like they were the right people to tell them that. When Clint was upset, it was either Cap or Scott that would help him feel better. But in this it was Wasp, someone who was introduced while the OG Avengers were missing. By episode 23, my friend and I couldn't do it anymore. We dropped the show with 2 episodes remaining. We couldn't get ourselves to finish this season. Maybe if this video gets 3,000 likes, I'll make me and my friend watch the episodes. And I'll make a video and finally give all my thoughts on Season 4. Season 5 time! Panther Quest, let's do this! And oh my god. What? Okay. That was a jump, but maybe it's for the best? Maybe they move more and it's overall no, it's not. They're a little bit better than Season 4 fights, but they're not as good as Season 3, 2, or 1 fights. They still don't move much. Tony doesn't have a mouth, but this time, all the life has been sucked out of the show. Everything that made Assemble fun to watch was gone in this season. It was thought Cap died, and when it was learned he didn't, I was looking forward to seeing a shippable reunion like any other time Tony and Cap reunited. But they just skipped it. The end of the episode, it's just like, oh, they're gonna meet this episode, it's gonna be a cute reunion. No, they're just in a spaceship, because screw you shippers, that's why. The only thing this season has going for it is the continuity, such as when Clint injured both of his hands, and they stayed like that for several episodes. This season was also a chore to get through, so there are still a couple episodes I have to watch. So that's what went wrong with Assemble. It was mostly Arsenal. Arsenal was the warning flag. It was the warning flag which made my friend originally quit the show until I dragged her back into it, but it was far from the worst thing that happened to the show. The show had potential. It had good team dynamics and a strong sense of characterization. Well, until seasons 4 and 5. Sometimes the show was way too much fun to watch, rewind, and then watch again. But other times, it was just too draining and stale to continue. Before I head off, I just wanted to shout out this comment that made my day. I might butcher your name, and I'm sorry, but this comment by Miranda Haynes. I will say this now, and I'll say it proud. Earth's Mightiest Heroes is my favorite child, but Avengers Assemble is my trash baby. Seriously, I want Avengers Assemble as my trash baby on a shirt. Who knows? I might make one. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to me ramble about this garbage fire of a show. You can watch a couple of Avengers Assemble episodes on YouTube, but it's on a rotation, and they're slowly removing earlier episodes and replacing it with Season 3 and Season 4. So, if you want, you can watch that. Either way, have an amazing day.